Hello everyone. So I'm Dr. Devanan Girish Kumar, Associate Professor of Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, B.V. Raju Institute of Technology, Narsapur. Today I talk about the history on invention of EVs and the challenges in India, the steps being taken to boost the EV ecosystem in India, the global impact, and the major importance of adopting EVs in India. So let us come to the air pollution statistics of India. So the global air pollution was the second biggest problem and taking largest health risks in India economic, costing around the 150 US dollars annually. So the major cause of the air pollution is the first major cause is industries and power generation. It is about 51%. So of course it is having the 50% of air pollution, but we can't cut it down because we need the industries and power generation is mandatory for the present human being survivals because we are completely depending upon the power generation like electricity for every appliances. So the power generation is mandatory for the applications. Now the biggest risk is nothing but a electric vehicle. It is around 31%. And we can have a more focus here because the vehicles which are running on the roads having the fuels like petrol and diesel which producing more carbon dioxide into the air. So then we can if cut down this particular percentage of carbon dioxide, and at least we can save some more like the air pollution. So then we can cut down the complete carbon dioxide around 31% by completely adopting or replacing the existing ICE vehicles with the EV vehicles. So coming to the brief introduction. So we also call the electric vehicles like battery operated electric vehicles completely, which uses electric power supply as the fuel source and it runs the electric motor with the help of that particular fuel source. And the first electric vehicle carriage is designed in 1830s, but the automobiles was built up by 1891 in the United States. So then if you come across the particular classification of electric vehicles, the first one is battery electric vehicles. This is also called as a pure electric vehicle. Second one is hybrid, which is a combination of both ICE and EV. And second one and third one is also having a hybrid electric vehicles. The small comparison between these two. So the second one is nothing but uh, it's a self-charge based, so that when the IC engine is driven, so the battery gets charged and there is no external charger is required for the second one. And coming to the third one, this is also similar to type of second one, but here we need to have an external charging for this type of vehicle. It is not having a self-charging in this inside the vehicle. So the fourth one is the fuel cell based electric vehicles. And coming to the EVs, that's why we have to use the EVs in the sense, first and most important concern is nothing but it's a pollution. So the transportation amounts like one third of energy usage, as we've seen in the first slide, it's a 31%. So here we have like suppose at least 10% of EVs if you use to like habitate and to use it and we replace with that particular IC engine vehicles, then nearly 1 million tons of air pollution is cut down. Suppose if you adapt 100% of EVs, complete CO2 emission will be cut off by half, 50% of CO2 will be cut off. But as it comes to the capital cost and maintenance cost, of course, EVs have a more capital cost, but their maintenance and running cost is much less as compared to the ICE engines. And availability of fuel, and is also we have one more point to be noted. So always we are depending upon like other countries. for fossil fuels like diesel and petrol. We are like ex importing from the other UAE countries. So then this is one of the major drawback, because the cost of the fuel also increased due to the importing from other countries. Also, the fourth one and last one is nothing but, as compared to that IC engines, the EVs have a good well-to-wheel efficiency. So then well-to-wheel efficiency in the sense the power source to wheel efficiency we call as the well-to-wheel efficiency. So that is much higher in the EVs as compared to the IC engines. There are no power losses in between power source to the driving wheels in case of EVs as compared to the IC engines. So the history of electric vehicle, if it is seen, the complete chart have shown here. So that first primary origin is started at 1769, and the major EVs like on roads was developed, and it is running from the year 2000, uh, like hybridization of Eclipse vehicles. In between, there is a huge importance for the EV vehicles have been arised sometimes, and due to some drawbacks and due to some lack of research and lack of invention of a battery technologies. So there are some things having importance, and there's something is dominating. So then the year from 1769 to 2000, so there is no survival of EVs in the market of any country. So there's actually the domination came from the gasoline engines in the market in between the years. So that is only the primary factor. So the later, so as we are adapting to use to gasoline engines, so that there are a lot of pollution is producing, and as per as that concern, so we are trying to removing that particular gasoline engines, and we are replacing them by the EVs. We are slowly adapting the EVs from 2000, and now we are at least at the 20 percentage of EVs we are using, both combinedly the two wheelers and four wheelers as well, and the small trucks also nowadays. So as we've seen this, then outside of India, the fast adoption is going. So always the Norway is stood at the top position. This is the statistic which is taken in the 2018, and at present also that Norway is in the top. So their willing is to like replace all the IC engines by 2030 with EVs, so that 100 percentage of EVs in the Norway will be adopting by 2030. So that is their global plan, so that they're executing that completely. The second most is the island. So the island is having 19.14 percentage, and the remaining all will be having just less than the 10 percentage of adoption. So major thing is to be observed that between Norway and Iceland, and also the India is having very little. So then India is not in the list here because we are talking about outside. So challenge is EV industry. So if you see this particular pie chart, so the red color shows that it's purchase price. As you know, that's the purchase price is very high. And the second most drawback is the driving range. So the EV is having a limited driving ranges, and the charging capability. So there are very less number of charging stations for filling a fuel, and also it takes more time to charge the vehicle. And the charging infrastructure, so the charging infrastructure is also the one of the major drawback of the EVs challenges while adapting in Indian market. So what government initiative have been taken to adopting EVs in India is, actually the government is always trying to promote the EVs since 2015. So then first they have invented one initiative called FAME, Fast Adoption and Manufacturing of EVs in India. It stands for. So then they have like also provided 1.5 lakhs of income tax benefit for the assessment year 2019-20 onwards. So those who are purchasing the EVs under the scheme of this FAME. And the second one is NMEM. So then this is called as a National Mission for Electric Mobility. So it has been launched by like National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020 with the aim of adopting or to invest 140 billions of uh, amount for the next 8 years of development of EV infrastructure. So also Niti Aayog is also communicating all of the stakeholders, like or like discuss about the different policies and also what best they can do for uh, like mobilizing the people to buy the EVs. So then this type of adoptions and initiatives by the government have been like mobilized the few of the people to go for the EVs. The typical structure of EV configuration is as shown in this figure. Actually, if you come across this, and these are the driving wheels which are shown, and it is fixed to a driving shaft, and that driving shaft is connected to a fixed gearing wheels. This is also called as a differential, and the differential is directly connected to a motor, electric motor, and this motor is driven by a power source. So that power source is nothing but it's a battery. This here we have shown the nickel metal hydride battery. So this metal hydride battery drives your induction motor by a power electronic converter. This converter adjusts the voltage and current requirements required by the motor. So also it converts one type of power supply to the another, because we are using here DC, because the DC batteries cannot directly drive the AC motors like a three-phase induction motor, so that it is required some power conversion here, the DC to AC conversion. And sometimes also this converter may act as a rectifier, so during the braking time, so that regeneration braking time, so then it stores back the energy to the battery. So then some more controls are required for the like induction motor or something, whatever we have the electric motor. So what control is in the sense of the speed control. This can be happen through an electronic control. So this electronic control may supply the brake and as well as the acceleration to the three-phase induction motor through the power converter again. And here some auxiliaries are there. So that auxiliary is also supplied by the battery. So then this auxiliary power supply we have, that is taking power from the battery and is also supplying energy to the power steering, because every day day to development we have the older version of steerings are replaced with the power steerings in the EVs. Like not only EVs, and every vehicle we are using a power steering for flexibility, so that it requires some electric power to operate. So then hence we take the power from that battery. Also we have some cooling and heating mechanism, like we are using in electric cars the ACs and something, some heaters we are using, so that also the energy is taken from the battery itself. And some energy management unit is there here. This energy management unit will take a power from the battery, and it manages the power for while charging and discharging through like electronic controllers to the motor. Or also here we can optimize the battery state of charge and state of discharge. This electric energy management unit is called as a battery management system in the EVs. And actually this batteries gets charged through a battery charger. This is called as onboard charger, and it is powered by an AC power source. Some external charges also can be used, and for that we need to have some separate converters to charge the EVs. That's all. Thank you.